Hello, booktube. I can't hardly see anything. My eyes are blurry all of a sudden. Hello, this is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video even though I can't download these videos until our computer is set up, which will probably be Wednesday or Thursday. But I can still film them and store them on my camera. Today is July the 10th, 2023. It is 3:52 in the afternoon here on a Monday. This is a Monday Reads. I'm writing in my diary. I'm down the lower level because upstairs we had the movers come, and in 40 minutes they cleared out the whole first floor and put it all in the garage. Well, we put a lot of stuff in the sunroom and into Carol's room, our daughter's old bedroom, which has wooden floors already. It has wood floors. It was never carpeted. But the rest of the house upstairs is all carpeted. My study, our bedroom, the dining room, the living room, those are all going to have new flooring to put in tomorrow. So tomorrow night, hopefully, prayerfully, it'll all be done. And I took a bunch of pictures before and after. I took pictures of all the empty old carpeting, and then tomorrow once the flooring is there, hopefully it'll all be there. I'll take pictures. So I'm down here writing in my diary on page 589, and I'm reading this afternoon the Hermeneutic of Wisdom, Recovering Formative Agency of Scripture by J.D. Waal Dryden. I did read, one thing I didn't pack and I brought down here was the works of William Perkins, and I read this morning, I've been reading his exposition on the Apostles' Creed. So I read that this morning, and then I've been reading this afternoon when I'm not doing other things around the house, watering the backyard or talking to Carol or eating food or just going through the day. So down here everything is crowded, everything's around me, but I do got paper. So I got everything is packed, but I got some paper put out. So I'm doing good. I got paper, and I got my books all around me. And I have my July diary with me. Today, like I said, is the 10th. Tomorrow is the 11th. The flooring men come, and I have a session with my psychologist, my friend Jim, at 2:00 p.m. One thing I got out this morning, I was looking at yesterday what books were coming out throughout the year going into December, and I read that Thorsten Moore of Sonic Youth, which is no longer, they disbanded when Thorsten Moore, he was married to Kim Gordon. They were in the band Sonic Youth. She performed bass and he was on guitar. And they had a drummer, which I can't remember right now his name. But they divorced because Thorsten Moore was committing adultery, and Kim Gordon found out, and she divorced him after 25 years of marriage. This is her memoir, Girl in a Band, a memoir. And then I found out that Thorsten Moore has written what I would assume a memoir coming out in September. So I got this out today to reread it or to look through it again. Sonic Youth, I really got into Sonic Youth back when we lived in Houston, Texas. I had them on cassette. No, when I heard about them when we were living in Houston, Texas, and then we moved up here, and I think then I started buying their CDs and their deluxe editions, Sonic Youth, and then they broke up. I don't know how many years ago. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. But Thorsten Moore still puts out records, and Kim Gordon, she puts out records. I found out yesterday she's 70 years old. She's old as I am. But she was in the band Sonic Youth with her ex, Thorsten Moore. I always found Thorsten Moore very fascinating. He seems very intelligent, knows a lot about music. I just always liked listening to him when I saw him on some interview or some thing on the internet, or I like his music. He's an interesting person, so I pre-ordered his memoir. So I'm reading the Hermeneutic of Wisdom, and then yesterday I read a lot of The Conquered City by Victor Serge. I'm almost done with this. I'll probably finish with it tonight. I'll probably go outside and sit in the front like Karen and I do, watching humanity go by. I'm almost done with this, and really enjoyed it. I might, I mentioned in one of my videos I wrote in my live journal, Crooked Fingers, my reflections on Lance Olsen's novel. What was it called? Always Crashing in the Same Car, a novel after David Bowie. I wrote my reflections and a bunch of stuff in my live journal, Crooked Fingers. I didn't do a video or read it on a video for my YouTube channel, but I might do the same thing, write reflections on this novel and after I finish it, because I have a lot of thoughts, and I might do that in live journal. And I plan to start reading next Victor Serge novel, The Unforgiving Years. This was his last novel he wrote. He died like in 1947 in Mexico City, and this was his last work. It wasn't even, published until after, some years after he died. I think he wrote in French, even though I think his parents or grandparents were Russians, and it's a long story, but his parents, I think, were exiled to Belgium, but he was a communist, neo-anarchist, something like that. Anyway, this was his last novel that was in his drawer when he died, and I think it was published in French in 1971. And this is a translation that came out by the New York Review of Book in 2008. So I'm going to read this next. I'm going to read all of Victor Serge. I've read his Memoirs of a Revolutionary. I've read his notebooks, 1936 to 1947. I've read Last Times, Men in Prison, The Conquered City, and then I'm going to read his Midnight in the Century, and then I'm going to read Case of Comrade Tolonov. Anyway, I'm going to read all his novels throughout the year. I also don't know what else I read on this Monday. I read William Perkins on the Apostles' Creed this morning. I'm reading the Hermeneutic of Wisdom, Recovering the Formative Agency of Scripture by D. de Waal, Dryden. I've been reading The Conquered City. I'm going to read The Unforgiving Years by Victor Serge. Looking at Kim Gordon's memoir, A Girl in a Band. I'm writing in my diary, writing in my composition book at night before I go to bed. I always keep in here a picture of a hawk. I love birds. I keep these in my composition book. I love birds. And I'm still reading Pale Fire. I'm almost done with Nabokov. And I plan to read some more of him. I want to read his, it's called, It's called, I want to read, I've read Pin. I want to read next. I know it's right here. Mary, Queen, no, the Depends the Eye, whoever. Ada or Ardor, A Family Chronicle is what I want to read next by Nabokov. And I'm still reading My Red Heaven by Lance Olsen. I was saying Olsen. I think it's Olsen. I was even spelling it wrong. And I'm reading The Love of Christ by Richard Sibbes. So I'm always reading. I want to get into The Age of Reform, 1250 to 1550, Intellectual and Religious History of Late Medieval and Reformation Europe by Stephen Osment. And I want to get back into reading The Reformation as The Reformation as Renewal, Retrieving the One Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, an Intellectual and Theological History. I might even read this this evening, since I'm kind of giving I might give myself a break from all my Victor Serge reading. So, well, I am kind of giving myself a break because I've been reading Hermeneutic of Wisdom, which I'm really enjoying. I've read 113 pages of this. So that's what's going on. I'm surrounded by all kinds of stuff down here. I got my field notes that were my study here. Oh, behind the bookcase, when they moved them, I found 2 postcards from my son, Dad. This is from Wyoming, cowboy country. This was from, what year was this? This is the Grand Canyon, when they visit the Grand Canyon. My son Josiah and his wife Hannah. We drove across pretty Nevada of northern Wyoming. I drew a rough estimate of our path on the thing. Oh, I see. Anyway, he sent that to me. Then I found this one from him. This is from my wife, Arizona. This was, I don't know what year, what this one was either. February 2016. I don't know what this one is. But I keep all postcards from my children, my wife, anything. So I'll put these in my diary. Also, I found this little thing by one of my granddaughters. This little thing. I don't know what that is, but I found it behind the bookcase. I don't know what that is. Excuse me. So what else I got here? I don't know. Anyway, this is going on 13 minutes. I can't download this. Oh, I also want to finish reading the Rachel Papers by Martin Amis. I might do that. I was almost done with this. I started reading it last month, the Rachel Papers. This was his first novel. Of course, we know that Martin Amis just died recently. And I got this first novel out just to read him. And he reminds me of Nabokov somewhat. Reading Martin Amis, I would say my assumption that he was influenced by Nabokov in some ways. I just off the top of my head. So what else is here? I can't think of anything else to say. So I'll close. Yeah. So tomorrow the flooring is laid. Tomorrow I meet my therapist. And like I told you, when I see Jim, you know, I just sit down and I'll talk to him about whatever's on my mind. It's like I see him every 4 weeks. It's 45 minutes. I walk in. We just kind of just talk. It's kind of like, it's like getting your temperature. You want to make sure, you know, he is an expert. He can look at you. You talk to him, and he tells you, "Hey, you're doing fine." Maybe that's just reassuring. I mean, I do have, my, like I said, I have my ups and downs, and I go up and down, but the Lord gives grace. So I hope you'll have a good reading week. I don't know when I'll make another video. I don't know when I'm going to download this. I just wanted to make a video. Monday reads, what I'm reading, where I'm at, what's going on in my life. Just ramble. Yeah, this is the lower level. Upstairs is all empty. And so, yeah. So I'll sign off. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for your comments. And until next time, bye.